Fighting corruption, has tamasha really taken over the real issue? That's NDTV.com/Natasha is the address where you need to write to keep your thoughts coming in. And here's why we're asking you that. In a provocative and very controversial remark, Ramdev today called his supporters to take up arms to prevent a crackdown like the one we saw on Saturday. He went on to say he'll build an army of 11,000 men and women. It's a remark that was slammed by the government, and even the BJP, who Sushma Swaraj was actually in Haridwar to meet Ramdev, was clearly uncomfortable.
Days after being seized and evicted by force, Ramdev has today made a controversial call to arms. That puts him on a collision with the government once again.
20-20 युवक युवतियां एक-एक जिले से आएंगे और हम अब 11,000 युवक और युवतियों की फौज अब यहां पतंजलि पीठ में तैयार और इन 11,000 युवक युवतियों को शस्त्र और शास्त्र की दोनों की ट्रेनिंग देंगे और उसके बाद देखेंगे कि अगली बार जब रामलीला में रावण लीला होगी तब कोर्ट पीट कर की जाएगी.
The government and the Congress, who are already gunning for Ramdev, got more fodder.
I've seen the statement of Shri Baba Ramdev. I think by making that statement, he has exposed his true colors and true intentions. Let him do so. Let him do so. Let him do so, and the law will deal with that.
It is for the BJP to answer to the people of the country.
Sushma Swaraj, who visited the fasting Ramdev today, ducked all questions on this.
मेरी ऐसी कोई बात उनसे हुई नहीं, इसलिए मैं इस पर कोई टिप्पणी करना नहीं चाहती. मैंने नहीं सुना.
The Congress has charged that Ramdev's protest last weekend had the backing of the RSS and the BJP. But while still backing Ramdev to the hilt and demonstrating it through Swaraj's visit, the BJP in Delhi distanced itself from his call to arms.
लेकिन भारतीय जनता पार्टी लोकतांत्रिक और अहिंसात्मक तरीके से विरोध में यकीन रखती.
Team Anna has also distanced itself from the Baba's call to arms. Ironically, it was forced to do so while Anna Hazare was on fast in support of Ramdev and against his midnight eviction.
If he has said this and if this is true, I think we completely, we don't support it at all. We want all the protests to be non-violent.
It's not clear how or when or even if Ramdev will go ahead with his army. But with legions of supporters across the country, political rhetoric aside, it's a threat the government is examining seriously. With Hirdesh Joshi in Haridwar, in Delhi, Rubina Khan Shapu, NDTV.
Ramdevs are calling for people to come and sort of make his own private army, calling people to take up arms there. Do you think that the government, in particular those 4 ministers, are tonight wondering just what sort of a man they were trying to strike a deal with?
Well, you know, for the rest of us who look at this from the outside, this gentleman, Mr. Ramdev, has always been a bit bizarre. Every time he strayed away from the straight and narrow path of giving his yoga lessons. But after this latest comment, one begins to wonder whether he's all there. I mean, does he not spare a moment to think through of the implications of what he has to say? Because it is obvious to anyone that you cannot raise private militias, you invite trouble. And the language that you hear is reminiscent of the kind of language one heard from, let us say, a Mussolini when he raised his private militia of brown shirts, or Hitler when he raised his militia of black shirts. All right? And surely a responsible party like the BJP, you see, knows the implications. And therefore it must, I hope, very quickly detach itself from this kind of a statement. As far as the government is concerned, you know, right from the beginning one wondered why it was giving undue attention to this gentleman. This gentleman is truly bizarre.
They misjudged it? They miscalculated it? What were they thinking?
I have no idea what they were calculating, but the fact is the sight of 4 senior ministers receiving him at the airport, confabulating with him for hours, what were they discussing? What did they hope to get out of this? All right. And I think after this statement, Ramdev is probably helped the government in a certain way, because such sympathy as he may have garnered because of that
Will
midnight,
now be eroded, you think?
because of that midnight incident, is bound to be eroded. People are going to sit up and say, what is this guy, what was he talking about? Raising a private militia, arming people, arming youth, it's not done. And one therefore hopes that all political parties will see through what this gentleman is. I don't think that he's really going to go ahead and do it, because at some point he will be counseled against it.
Right.
But the very fact that he thought it fit to express these ideas itself suggests that you don't give credence, you don't lend credence to a gentleman of this kind.
Right.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone, fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. NDTV.com/apps.